the social channels. Welcome and glad to see you, and glad to be joined by you, Brendan. Good to see
Yes. What's up, Troy? What's up, buddy?
you. Long time no see.
Yeah, indeed. I'm out here in California, visiting my parents for the holidays. I'm in my old room that they converted into an office, and as you can see behind me, a treadmill. So where I used to sleep is now a treadmill. So that's all exciting and good.
That's how it works, man. Once they get rid of you, it's everything they've always wanted, and sometimes it's treadmills.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
Good to be seeing you again. Catching up now. We've got some exciting stuff to be covering. I know the last time we had a live, we were covering some breaking news, some updates, some things happening, and the responses in the community. Yep. So on the heels of that, I think this is a really good and welcome change and update that I'm excited for us to share with the community, because I think, and you can share your thoughts on this, Brennan, I think everybody's sort of looking for, okay, now what do I do? I have to sort of look back on my business, figure out what parts of my strategies are working, what can I do in a superior way, how can I get my optimization right? And that sort of leads us to specifically how to do that, and what we're going to probably be spending some time on today.
Absolutely. Yeah, it came, honestly, it came from multiple places, this request of this tool and this feature set. I think even from my own products, I did a decent job on one ASIN, but I didn't do the best job on the next ASIN, and so I kind of dropped the ball. And this definitely gives you kind of a line in the sand, kind of a number that you should be shooting for, and not only for yourself or maybe even for your team. So that's why I think people are really excited about using it, and it kind of just clicks and makes sense once you actually start using LQS.
Right. Yeah. It helps to get specific too. It's not that lingering question of, am I optimized or not? You can literally look at the numbers and say yes or no. How am I doing out of that really big 1,000 score? And I've, as I've been walking more people through and demoing LQS as we've known it now as a completely free feature in the Chrome extension, I find that a lot of times people feel like, oh, I've heard of LQS, or I've heard of this type of approach. And big credit to the team, the Solo Tools team, and the people that have from the community have given us very clear direction. Mm-hmm. This isn't like an LQS you may have heard of before. We don't look at just a few different things that just character counts. We truly want to know, is our listing set up to generate more revenue than the next brand
Yep.
and the next product? We want to answer that definitively and not leave it to chance, or even literally run through the same process as our competition. So that's a big part of what we've done to this point, but then also what we're going to share today with the addition of LQS Pro.
It's huge. Come on. It's a combination, honestly, guys. It's a combination between an SOP and a tool that meets it together. So even if it's currently not on your list of your standard operating procedures that you do for yourself or for your team, now it is. And so it's definitely the best of both worlds.
Absolutely. Well, I'm seeing some folks now jumping in, joining us live. Let us know, say hi in the comments. Let us know you can see us okay, hear us okay, where you're joining us from. Glad to be seeing you live, of course. But I think, Brendan, in the spirit of all of our other lives, we don't have a lot of fluff. We don't have a lot of extra. Like, we don't have the patience for that. We want the value, right? Like showing what we can really do now with some of the powerful features. Yep. I see some comments flowing in, and as we're walking through everything and breaking down LQS Pro, I'm going to encourage you. I'll be keeping a close eye on your comments, on your questions, and feedback. So do not be shy. We'll make sure we keep a close eye on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Ask any questions that you guys like, even if honestly, if it's slightly not about LQS, but of course we want to keep it on top of LQS. But if we get towards the end and you guys want to kind of ask us anything, feel free to do so. We're fun, easygoing people.
Well, let's add a little bit more context too, because I just touched on this briefly, Brendan. Is that now where a lot of sellers rightfully are thinking, okay, I want to be super duper white hat. I want to do everything on Amazon, this feature hits that right on the nose, because all we're looking at is your Amazon presence, your detail page, and making sure, are you using all the assets and images that Amazon's encouraging you to? Are you meeting the style guidelines? Are you using EBC and A+ content? So when it comes to getting what we all have to do and should do, hopefully in a superior way, right, this feature is bright white hat in terms of how you approach your Amazon success. So that's a big point. And as I touched on, we're noticing when we make changes based on LQS, it can impact your visibility and rank. Whether you're changing your title, you're addressing index related issues, some of that you would come to expect. But in the past, Brendan, sometimes we may have not touched or altered our listing in any way, just for fear that it's going to dramatically go the other way.
Yeah,
paranoia. We're seeing the opposite happen, right? Yeah, exactly. Being worried you're gonna sink your performance.
Yep. Yeah, you're cruising along 50 units a day, and you're like, I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it. And then because you're paranoid that I don't want to lose that 50 units. What if it goes down to 40 or 30? But there's also the upside. What if it goes up to 60? So that's what we kind of want to address.
Exactly. All right. Well, Brendan, I think with that context, if you're ready to go, let's dive in. Let's take a look. Some of you, if you haven't seen LQS, now LQS Pro before, I'm excited to kind of unveil this to you. And we're going to spend some time breaking down exactly what you can expect from this feature. So Brendan, I'm going to hand it off to you.
Sure. Yeah. Let me know when you guys can see my screen. Okay. I'm just sharing a simple product. I just type in hyaluronic acid on Amazon. And so you guys should see a product I'm randomly selected. This one has 11,000 ratings. And I did choose this one not completely at random. I chose it because one, it had variations. So I definitely want to touch on variations. And then two, it definitely has, if I scroll down really quickly just to show you guys, it does have the A+ content that we're going to touch on also during this process. So Troy, can you see my screen okay?
I can. Yep.
Perfect. Okay. So essentially, guys, if you guys do not know, we do have a pretty robust Chrome extension. It is free. You can find us. You can either go to seller.tools in order to download it, or you can go to the Chrome store and type in seller.tools, and it will pop up there, and you can go ahead and add it to your Chrome browser. There's a lot of bells and whistles within the Chrome extension, but we're going to focus pretty much this live on one particular feature, which is in front of us right now, which is LQS, which is listing quality score. So essentially what we want to do is analyze the listing and assign a score based upon what we see. How good is that listing? So on every detail page, when you click into the product, you're going to have a rating right in front of us here, right? So we have the Seller Tools logo, and then we have the LQS. And then right here, we have a 626 out of 1,000. So what does that mean? Let's dive into it. So in order to bring up LQS, what you have to do is click on it. And this I have is LQS Pro, which is the Pro feature, which we'll go ahead and dive into each and every one of those data points. And so the issue we were running into as brand owners, as Amazon sellers, was the obvious question, is my listing optimized? And so we wanted to do two different things. The first thing is being, well, what can I optimize was the first question. And then the second question is, okay, am I doing it correctly? Am I putting the keywords where they need to be? Am I using any of the features that Amazon gives me? And then we kind of come up with an SOP and a score. So the best score you can get is 1,000 out of 1,000. So this is a great way to kind of give yourself a target, not only yourself, but also your team. So you can hand off this extension to your team and say, hey guys, let's spend a little bit of time on our listings and let's try to get as close as we can to 1,000 out of 1,000. To be honest though, guys, very few listings that we look at are a full 1,000 of 1,000, but the goal is to, how can we chip away at that and then eventually get to 1,000 of 1,000. Does that kind of make sense, Troy?
Yep, absolutely. Target to hit.
Perfect. So we divide up the entire tool into multiple sections here. We, of course, have the keyword quality score, which is everything about keywords. We have the media quality, which is obviously everything about media, videos, images. We, of course, have the A+ content, everything that has to do with A+ content, the images, the keywords associated with the A+ content, and then conversions. This is what normally has to do with how can we give our customer trust in our product that they actually convert to a sale. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive into each one of those and kind of just do a rough overview of each one. There are a lot of data points here, guys, so I won't spend too much time on each individual one, but really get you an idea of each different one of the sections. So the first one we're looking at here is keyword quality score. Really obvious stuff here, like the titles, the bullet points. So if your listing has 5 bullet points or 8 or 10 bullet points, the tool is going to automatically recognize that it has multiple bullet points. As you can see here, this one, the tool recognizes that this product has 5 bullet points, so it presents as 5 here. It also gives us the characters count of each one of our bullet points. So as we can see here, bullet point number 1 has 247 characters, 247 English characters. And now what we want to do is, hey, analyzing this bullet point, I'm curious if I'm indexed for all of them. And that's one of the features we added to LQS. So what we can do is go ahead and click on check index, and it'll actually check bullet point number 1 in real time. So there's currently 40 words inside bullet point 1, and I can check index, and it'll check in real time. As you can see here on the screen, it's going through every single word and checking this product against those. And blue is that you're indexed, and red means you're not indexed. So right here, we can see that there are opportunities that we can become indexed for some of these keywords. How I would train my team to get these indexed, I would begin to move these keywords around to other bullet points or into like the search term field or into the subject matter, kind of begin to move them around if these keywords are really important to me. Does that kind of make sense?
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. Obviously, we can do the same thing with title. We can go ahead and check the title. And as you see, it quickly checks the title. And boom, I've just checked the index of the title on this ASIN. So really what it comes down to is, 1, how's my listing currently indexed for the keywords in my listing? And then 2, you can check all of the variations. And then finally 3, you can see as you're building a listing, are you indexed for the keywords? So do your keyword research, edit your listing, hit publish, wait 15 minutes, come back, go ahead and click check index again. Do it as many times as you want. And as you build your listing out, you could see, okay, yes, no more reds pop up. I'm indexed for all my keywords. So that's really what we wanted to build out in the keyword feature tool, was to really, what are the titles? What are the bullet points? What are the characters? And are we indexed?
And one of the ways too I like to describe this when walking through LQS is that what you'll notice in the top portion when we looked at characters, we're sort of looking at, are you adding enough words and phrases to in terms of sort of think of it as the quantity. Are you really making the most of the potential real estate you have in your title, in your bullet points, with relevant keywords and phrases? The index check sort of tells us, okay, now that we've done that, now that we've done the quantity side of things, how is the quality, or effectively, how is Amazon telling us we're doing at the keyword level and indexing in the catalog? And ideally, we want this nice sort of teal color to comb our listing, to be able to crawl through, and hopefully we get the sigh of relief in knowing, okay, great, this is sort of an insurance policy. I'm not copy and pasting my keywords elsewhere to check index. I'm doing it right here, real time, right on my listing, and having both of those boxes checked off. Yes, I'm using the right quantity, as much of relevant keywords as possible, but then I'm also performing on the quality side by making sure that I'm indexed in Amazon's catalog.
That's a perfect point. It's perfectly accurate, Troy. And that's exactly what we're doing here. And that's exactly why we built this tool, is just to make your guys' life much easier to really analyze your listings or even your competitors' listings.
Yep, because it is important to note, you can run this on any product on Amazon. So the insurance policy is great on your products, so you can, sleep easy and make sure you don't have any anxiety of, wait, I haven't done the copy paste of my, my keywords recently, any sort of prolonged manual process to see index visibility, and just see it right here while I'm already looking at my listing and double checking. But then also, looking at your competitors and saying, hey, is there any opportunities here? Is there any words that they are essentially underperforming
Yep.
that I can verify through a quick check?
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Troy, while you were speaking, I went ahead and checked index on a bunch of all the bullet points, and now I'm currently doing the description EBC content down here at the bottom, and so it's checking all that information as well. And as you can see here, it is increasing here as it's checking all of the keywords here. And as you can also tell, is our score, our keyword quality index score is getting a little bit higher for a total score of 400. Right now we're 382. So we'll be above 382 if this one checks out okay. But we'll see here in a few minutes. But as you can see, just right here, we have two opportunities in bullet point 1 and bullet point 4, where we can begin to be indexed a little bit more. As you can see, there only 73% of the keywords are indexed, and bullet point 4, 79. So we could spend a little bit of time and get this closer to 100% to get that score all the way up to be 400 out of 400. So does that make sense, Troy?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Perfect. Okay. Next up, that's everything to do with keyword quality score. Next thing we're going to do is the media quality score. So what we really want to do is analyze all of the images on the listing. As you can see here, it says 6 out of 9 right now, because really what we want to do as Amazon sellers is really max out our images. We want to have 9 out of 9 being used. We really want to maximize the space that Amazon gives us. Next up is obviously, these beautiful images that this person has. As you can see, there's a nice mouse over. So it's high resolution images. As you could see, we see that not only do they have 6 images, but also there are 6 zoomable images on that. Further down, is there a video on this page? No, there's not. I think that's a huge missed opportunity, guys. Is every single listing should have a video. The reason being is the more time that's spent on your page and the more interactions that a potential customer engages in your listing, guys, that actually increases search rank. So if this Aster Woods natural hyaluronic acid spent a little bit more time, made a video, put it on their listing, and someone clicked on the video, watched the video, that actually gives a little bit of points towards ranking for hyaluronic acid. Does that make sense, Troy?
Yep, absolutely. And it goes to one of the questions that came in right before we dove in is, the new 2S updates, everybody thinking about what strategies can I use? I still want to positively impact rank. I do not want to fall behind, but that's exactly what you're touching on, Brendan. We're doing optimization strategies that drive page interactions, which help to positively impact rank. So
Yep.
it is what we all have to do. We all have to add images. This is the entirety of what somebody sees before they buy our product. And so if we can do that better, have a really clear check mark here of meeting those style guidelines, meeting those image counts, this all plays into ranking. It's just we don't think about it. We only think of, maybe sales velocity of other strategies.
Yeah, guys, there's 240, almost 240, there's 238 attributes within the Amazon detail page and technically outside the Amazon detail page that increase or add to potential increase in search rank, right? And scrolling down to the reviews is one, reading the reviews is another one, playing, zooming in on an image is another one, playing a video is another one. Like Amazon wants to see the customer interacting with the page and actually getting value out of that page. And so by doing so, it's going to increase your page rank. It's very, very similar to Google, where Google has, time on page, they have click depth, like how far into the page did you go? What was your bounce rate? All that stuff. Amazon is doing the same exact thing for the pages. They really want to see a customer engaging the detail page. And that's why Amazon is giving so much effort to other attributes within it, like the videos, like video shorts, like Amazon posts, because they want the customer to engage and get value out of the detail pages and not just be kind of like an eBay listing where it's just an image and a price, add to cart, that's it. These are actually turning into mini websites now, and I'm sure you guys have noticed that over the last year or so. The amount of attributes that have been added to a detail page has just been ever increasing.
Yep, that's huge. And I would say the big takeaway, because I know we kind of got into the weeds there, Brennan, in terms of some of the specifics and parallels, is the way that you can simply think of it is that the more that you add, and this is where media can this score and these points can be overlooked. But on the whole, generally, the more that you add to a listing in the form of media and videos, so images or videos, the better off you are, because that will positively impact or encourage page interactions.
Yep, absolutely. You definitely want page interactions. Okay, so guys, clearly, I'm sure you guys can notice what are the opportunities that this product could do. It's rating 50 out of 120 right now. You can clearly see adding more images would be helpful. Adding a video would be helpful. Adding some video shorts would be helpful, which is way down at the bottom. And then, of course, Amazon Posts, which this company has no Amazon Posts. Adding all of these to this page, make sure that the customers engages and gets value out of this page. And the more it engages, when I say it, the more the customer engages this listing, the more potential for an increase in keyword ranking will be the outcome. So huge opportunities there, 50 out of 120 points. If I own this product, I'd either do it myself or hand it off to my team and say, hey, team, let's go ahead and get that up to hopefully, maybe we don't want to jump on Amazon Posts just yet because we don't have someone to write the content, but maybe I can get this, 110 out of 120 or 100 out of 120. Let's get that score up. Okay. So moving on, Ebc Content. So this was a huge addition to the LQS Pro. This was not in the older version. I'm sure if you noticed. If you guys have been using LQS for a while, we did add Amazon Posts. That was never in there before. And then we did add this entire Ebc Content section. And this is a very unique feature that we just added. And so let's kind of break it down. So as you guys know, there is this section here, which used to be called Enhanced Brand Content. Now it's A+ Content. The old vendor accounts, it was called A+ Content. And so what we have in front of us is it's not a new media type, but it's new in terms of being released to third-party Amazon sellers. And so you guys, you should really take advantage of A+ Content. If you're not taking advantage of it, you can have up to 10 modules now. I would say, add as many modules as you can, because there's various different ways that you can add value to your customer. Like you can do a product comparison between your product and another product. You can do product comparisons between your products and other products that are within your product. So you want to maybe show the differences between the hyaluronic acids. Maybe one's a little bit stronger, one's a little bit weaker. One has citrus oil, one doesn't have citrus oil. You could definitely draw comparisons. This particular seller definitely has 5. How many modules here? Actually, it's showing that it has 0 modules, but it technically has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 modules here. Is what they currently have. So they're right on point that it is showing 5 modules here. And one of the big takeaways here is alt keywords, guys. This is actually pretty huge, and I don't think there's another tool in the market right now that's taking advantage of alt keywords. So alt keywords, if you're inside of Seller Central and you're uploading an image inside of your A+ content, you have the ability to give alternative keywords that describe the image. Now, it's important for 2 different reasons. The first reason is if someone is using an e-reader that's not capable of supporting images, Amazon will show a placeholder with text within that box. Does that kind of make sense, Troy?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of showing this image here of this woman applying the acid on her face, it would be the description that you put inside of these keywords, the alt keywords. Now, the powerful part of it is that you can actually use that as a positive. You can be indexing Amazon and also indexing Google, guys. So if you are running Google ads to your detail page, this will actually increase your optimization score and make you more relevant for your Google ads. Thus, the more relevant you are, you get a 10 out of 10, the cheaper your PPC is. The cost per click actually drives down because you're more relevant. Does that make sense?
Yep, that is huge for external traffic.
Yes, absolutely is huge. And Amazon does not make this public. So it's actually hidden. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it and hit check index. And what you're going to begin to notice is that we pop up on the screen image 3 alt keywords. These are hidden keywords behind the scenes. And as you can see, it's checking index on these alt keywords. Okay. So this is awesome when driving external traffic because you want to increase your optimization score as much as you possibly can. If you're 9 out of 10, you want to be a 10 out of 10. The higher optimized you are, the cheaper your clicks are going to be. And so you can go through and go ahead and check each one of these. You can only check 2 at a time. But as you can see, there's image 3, image 4, and it's checking the index of those alt keywords. As you can see, we have it in bold here. And then here's image 5, etc. And then finally image 6, which is down at the bottom.
And Brendan, you're running this. This isn't your listing. This is any listing. And so it's an important takeaway. The same point we touched on before, that you can use LQS across the entirety of the Amazon catalog. So if you're spending a good amount of time, you're staying on top of your business and you're keeping tabs on your competitors, you can easily come in here, take a look at not only their overall LQS, but then break down and maybe just pull from their back end some of those alt keywords, see what they are, the specific keywords, and then even see if they're indexed for those keywords.
Yeah, that's a great point, Troy. I didn't bring that. You're correct in bringing that up. You essentially are kind of spying on your competitors. You are essentially is grabbing their alt keywords, and then you can copy this out and put them into your alt keywords if you like them. I will say one thing along those lines. When you do your alt keywords, guys, I don't do so much keyword stuffing because if someone uses like an e-reader, it's just going to be a bunch of keywords. Try to make it readable, like this person has here, easy to include in your daily skincare routine pairs with vitamin C. So they're doing kind of a keyword stuffing, but readable. So you can jump into your competitors' listings. You can check index on all of it, and it's going to pull out those keywords and make it visible. So you can go ahead and copy out those keywords as well if you want to use it inside your listings, or kind of give you an idea of the direction that you want to go with your listing. Make sense?
Very powerful. Absolutely. That is huge. And I can validate what you've said because we've spent some time looking at this. You really cannot get something like this anywhere else. If there is something else, we've been the quickest to roll it out because I just literally haven't seen it, and it's a really cool way to tap into that data.
Yep, absolutely. And so that's the EBC content, same exact sort of thing. We want to increase the score as much as we can. So I'm going to minimize some of these things. So keywords, we're doing pretty good, 396 out of 400, couple opportunities. Media, 51 out of 120, some opportunities, 32 out of 50, some more opportunities. And then finally we come down to conversion quality score. So this is where we're going to see a couple different things, like running a promotion. Is this person running a promotion? Sales price, that strikeout price that we all know about. Coupons with coupon clips. Each one of these has a value that we assign to it, and so we try to see if the listing is running one of these items, like sales price and coupons, and then assign a value to it, which gives us our score. Questions and answers, that's a pretty obvious one here. We recommend at least minimum of 4. You'll be surprised, guys, when there's a new product that's released. It makes the page look so much fuller, and customers can engage with the questions and answers. And it's also a great way as the product owner can see what customers are asking and make changes to your detail page, or make changes to your images, or make changes even to your packaging or to your email sequence follow-up based upon what's being asked. Like, for instance, maybe it's this item, and the number one question is, should I wash my face before using this? Well, maybe that's something I put inside my ebook, or maybe that's something I put inside my instructions of, like, no need to wash face before use, or something to that effect. So everything is about conversion, because if someone feels like there's a promotion, they feel like kind of time's running out. If sales price means, hey, I'm not just paying retail, I feel special, I'm a customer. Is a coupon, oh wow, this is a short-term coupon, I should click on it and clip it and use that coupon. So it's making me feel special. All of these sections under the pricing all removes a barrier to converting that customer. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay, next stuff, obvious stuff, guys. Come on. Rating 4.5 stars or more, obvious stuff. Min reviews, you should have at least 50 reviews. This one obviously has 11,000, obvious stuff. Now some less obvious stuff, guys. Right here, top 5 reviews, 5 stars, 5 out of 8. What we're looking at here is right here, top reviews from the United States. What we can see here, this tool says 5 out of 8 of them are 5 stars. So let's just count it together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means that 1, 2, 3 are non 5 stars. So 5 out of 8. So what we want ideally, guys, is have all 5 of these reviews to be 5 stars. Not only that, is our top reviews are with images and videos. Like having images and videos are super powerful, guys. So if we can have like this one right here, a really positive review with a really positive image, those convert the best. So if you can get all your reviews on page 1 to be 5 stars and to be videos and to be images, that really helps with conversion. And so those are what we're looking at right there, right?
Yeah. And Brent, I just would add to that too. I know when we call it out, you may feel like, oh, well, maybe that's easy to say, oh, we'll just get a customer that has an image or is willing to leave a video. But what this tool also allows you to do is kind of reprioritize your efforts. If you run LQS week over week, and then you get to that 3rd week and you're like, wait, that is still a negative in my business. I still don't have a top review that has an image. Maybe I'll prioritize an email, an outreach, encouragement, friends, like who can give me this really important piece that I need of this puzzle to get my LQS score positively impacted. You don't have to feel like, oh man, that's too high of a hill to climb. Well, no, you just consistently check LQS, keep a pulse of how things are going, and then prioritize, hey, this could be that difference of getting my conversion readiness and my conversion score higher, and then increasing my overall LQS.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And especially if you're engaging with your customer, Troy, like you said, it's okay to ask for reviews. It's just not compensating people for reviews. So if you can engage with a customer who loves your brand, who loves your product, who doesn't mind uploading an image or a video, they could put it inside of the review, or they could even put it inside of these video shorts. So even these video shorts right here, I mean, they show the people's names here. Michael, like, why don't you reach out to Michael or to Poison Ivy and see if you can engage with them and have them, also upload the same video under the review section. That's there's nothing wrong with that of asking for a review.
Yep, exactly.
Lastly, in terms of reviews, we do have other countries with this listing doesn't have. Let me see if I have this one over here. See if it has other countries or not. Okay, this one does have other countries. So we can run a quick LQS on this one. So you can go ahead and just show this one for you guys. As you guys know, this one also has a coupon on it too. So maybe we should end in this one. As you guys know, that Amazon does count other countries now. They do combine all the reviews from all the countries. So that's something we do look at. Let's see. As you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reviews. And so 3 out of 5 are 5 stars, as you can see. 1, 2, 3 are 5 stars, and so 2 are non-5 stars. So ideally, it would be if we could have all 5 stars, so like we had with the local country, and then also images or videos would also be ideal. And so they're not huge points in terms of LQS, but they are important, and it is an opportunity that we can kind of take advantage of. Makes sense, Troy?
Absolutely. Yep. We know that. We know with reviews and ratings, that is the social proof. That is very much in that conversion bucket, can make all the difference. But looking at it this granularly too, not just saying simply, oh yeah, having a handful of 5-star reviews, but really thinking of it from a strategy level and then breaking down each and every one of those variables, and ideally having them all be very sort of synergistic, working together to ensure that if you earn that click, somebody sees your detail page, it is conversion ready.
Yep, absolutely.
Real quick, Brandon, before you hop into automation and reporting, I just want to encourage, again, those that are joining us live, 2 favors or 2 asks. Let us know. I'm curious to know, what is your favorite feature or thing that we look at right now in LQS? This is super duper built out. If you've ever heard or seen anything that sounds like LQS, I'm sure you're like, wait, it's like 10% of this. So I really want to know, what is your favorite feature or thing that we take a look at And then secondly, drop any questions. Let us know if there's anything that we can dive into a little bit more. Other product ideas, listings that we can run on. More than happy to do that too. But drop that in the comments. I want to keep an eye out for those of us again that are joining live.
Yep. Yeah, guys. Like we looked at a lot. Honestly, we looked at a lot of competitors in the market, and we looked at a lot of the metrics they were using to do listing quality and to analyze if a listing was good or not. And to be honest, I was completely and utterly disappointed. So we try to really we asked ourselves as sellers, we asked ourselves as SaaS providers. Let's make a giant Excel sheet list of all the things that are important on a listing, and then we went out to the community. Another shout out to Brian Johnson. If you guys know Brian Johnson, he's big into the Amazon PPC. He's the one who came up with this idea right here, the image one alt keywords. It was his suggestion. So we definitely listen to you guys. If you guys think there's a data point that is important that should be included in listing quality, like we have absolutely no problem listening to you guys, adding that value and adding it to the tool.
Awesome. Let me bring this question in from Jeff. Since I asked for some questions from the community. Do either of you have a specific method to write bullet points? And then he also mentions, by the way, I use LQS every day for keyword indexing, which is awesome to see.
Nice. When you mean my method, I wouldn't say I have a method. I would say that you should at least prioritize based upon the weight of the bullet points. So, for instance, subject matter and title, your two most important fields in your listing. Those carry the most weight. So I would definitely say, if you have a keyword that has the most traffic, keyword and or phrases, I would put those keywords in those locations, right? Before any other location. It's definitely okay to repeat keywords. I know some people train that like, hey, don't repeat keywords. I know that even on Amazon's, what is it called? The guideline, the
code of conduct.
No. It's something guideline. Essentially the guideline of how you should create your listings. They say not to repeat your keywords. I think opposite of that, guys. I think you should definitely repeat the keywords if it makes sense for the customer. So for instance, I think if like the word MCT was the most important keyword in this listing, let's say MCT oil, I of course would have it in my title. And then over here, if I had to put MCT oil again, like this person does right here, I would not do it. I would definitely add it. I definitely would repeat it because it makes the most sense. Like tasteless MCT oil. I think that's a great way, a great phrase to convert the customer. So I definitely would repeat it there. And then lastly, in terms of rule sets, in terms of weight, the next weight after that would be the keyword field, and then after that would be the bullet points, and then finally the description field. So in that list, in that priority is Jeff how I would prioritize where I would put my keywords in what locations based upon traffic. So highest traffic would be, again, title, subject matter. Then the next would be search term field. Then the next would be bullet points. And then finally, my least important, my less traffic, my long tail keywords, the keywords that get very low traffic would be my description field. Why? Because I still want to be relevant for those keywords. I still want to be indexed for the keywords, and I still want to come up with advertising for those keywords. It just may not be the highest priority for me in terms of ranking for those keywords. And I have no idea if I answered the question.
Jeff, if we didn't, let us know. We'll make sure. But I'm going to go to Jeff's other question. Let's see if we can answer this one. Also, if you have keywords that are not currently indexed, do you keep them and then run ads if you think it is important?
Yes. So first off, you can get yourself indexed for keywords by running ads because there are keywords that are loosely connected to other keywords. Like obviously, if you're the MCT oil and you put tire in it, you just don't magically come up for tire because you have the keyword tire in your listing. And the same thing goes, you can't run, $500 a click on the keyword tire and then suddenly become indexed for that keyword. It'd be impossible because that keyword tire is hard coded into the automotive category. And so this product here is obviously, I think, in the beauty category, or it could honestly technically be the health and personal care. And I guess technically it could also be inside grocery. So it really depends. Those keywords are hard coded in certain categories and irrelevant in certain categories. That's why also it's so important to put your product in the correct category, because you may not be relevant. You may not be able to be indexed for certain keywords within certain categories. But Jeff, to your point, loosely, you can rank for keywords that are you're not indexed for, as long as that keyword is valid inside of that category. And that's why a lot of training goes into running auto campaigns, because keyword advertising auto campaigns is a great way to discover keywords, because Amazon will show your product for loosely related keywords, even if they're not inside your listing, in order to tip your toe into the water to see if you somehow convert. And if you do convert, then Amazon will prioritize that keyword higher and higher, and eventually it'll almost become hard coded or etched into your product that you're relevant for that keyword.
Nice.
But step one would be, sorry, now I can actually answer the question. Step one would be moving that keyword around into other locations depending on the priority. So if I knew for sure this keyword was important, this keyword had traffic, this keyword is uber important to me, I would of course move it around. Perhaps, hopefully, my title, maybe not inside my subject matter. Subject matter is a great way because it's not visible. So I would first try subject matter, trying to move it around. Sometimes even if you just move positions inside of one of those fields, you can become indexed. But I would double down on my effort to move it around first, and then I would begin to try to become relevant through advertising, which would kind of be my last resort.
Yep, great question, Jeff. Awesome. Let's answer this one from Vladimir. Good to see Vladimir, and this dovetails nicely into one of the other features of LQS Pro, and that is, can we bulk process a list of ASINs? This was kind of another request. I'm trying to remember who provided us. I think it might have been, I think it was maybe an aggregator, but it was the idea of, okay, now we want to use this across a wide variety of SKUs and ASINs, and that's where we've added, as you'll notice, the ability to run a report.
Yep. Perfect. So as you guys know, the first version of LQS, the first was a one-off. So you had to come in, load the page. Let's say it's the 16 ounce here. Then I had to click on check. Then I had to click on check. And I can only run 2 at a time because we don't want to, get your computer, denied by Amazon. And you had to continuously click on each one of these check indexes. And so it was time consuming. And so it was great that most of this was automated. It was great that you didn't have to do ASIN keyword, ASIN keyword, ASIN keyword thousands of times. So at least that part of it was automated. But if you had variations, honestly, it was a pain in the ass. So a feature that we rolled out in this version of LQS Pro is automation reporting. So essentially now what you can do is, let's say I choose, I'm going to uncheck all of these here. So essentially, guys, I have 4 ASINs here. As you can see, ASIN totals 4. I have 4 variations, and I'm checking just the title. So what does that mean? What it's going to do is automatically, it's going to, let me check all of these here. It's going to check 4 ASINs here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's going to check the title. Therefore, I have 4 jobs that it's going to run. It's going to load each ASIN one by one and check the title. Now, if I do bullet points, what's going to happen is I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullet points. If I have 1 ASIN selected, that's 5 jobs. But if I have 4 ASINs selected, that's 20 jobs. That's a lot of work to do. So essentially what I can do is now I can add title. So now I go from 20 jobs to 25 jobs. That's a lot of work. What we did was we automated it for us. So now all you have to do is come in, select the ASINs that you want. Let's just say I am going to select the 4 ASINs here. I'm going to select the title, select the bullet points. I'm going to hit run. Now it's going to go ahead and run. It's going to have some jobs. As you can see, there's 1 out of 24 jobs that need to be done. It's going to go through and process each one of those jobs. You know what? I'm actually going to stop this and do something that's less work here. I'm just going to do 4 ASINs and just the title. I'm going to hit run. And this is going to change to 4. This is going to change the ASIN up top here. And now what it's going to do is check the title index for all 4 ASINs. It doesn't matter if it's 4 ASINs or 400 ASINs, it's going to do it. As you can see, it's moved on to the next one. The next one has a score here, and it's just going to kind of proceed through. As you can see, the score just went up because it checked the index. It moved on to the next ASIN. ASIN 3 out of 4 is going to get the score, etc. Does that make sense, Troy? So if we were to check everything, it would take a little while, but we're talking about, guys, we're talking about checking the title, checking all the bullet points, we're checking all the description field, we're checking all the image alt tags, which on this one is a lot, guys. It's 10. This listing has 10. So if I go ahead and check on one of these here, it's going to be 10. Actually, look, guys, there's only one keyword.
Oh, I think we did lose Brennan. Yeah, this happened the last live. Oh man, I'm sure he's going to get a good kick out of this. Well, I apologize for that. He was breaking everything down for us. But as he was running over that automation and reporting, that's really the last step in LQS Pro. And as we were kind of wrapping that up, I was hoping he would be able to show the report. And if that's interesting, of interest, I can go and pull that up on my screen. But I wanted to make sure I answered any of the last questions too that you guys had for the use of LQS Pro. And Jeff, you mentioned keeping auto campaigns running on all the time. It's highly recommended. It's a great way, again, not only for the discovery of keywords, but for some of the purposes that Brennan was touching on as well, for indexing. Product is newly launched. Let me answer this one real quick. Unfortunately, I can't see your name. Your product is newly launched on Amazon, then what is the best way to rank your product? Also, what is the best time to run it? So really, what is best? You're launching a completely new ASIN on Amazon. You're thinking about a honeymoon period. It's going live. You want to make sure, and of course, you can use seller tools for this. You can use Product Manager to kind of walk you through how to choose your product, do your keyword research, build out your listing. We have a workflow that helps and facilitates all of that. Let me bring him in. But once you do that initial optimization, you want to set up a system in which you then also there you are. Surprise.
Surprise. I apologize.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I'm just going to quickly finish this question because I was just touching on launching a new ASIN on Amazon. If you want to pull up your screen again, Brandon, we'll make sure we touch on last points and final questions. Is running through that initial optimization. So make sure, again, that you do superior keyword research. You build out your listing with high priority keywords. If you listen closely to a lot of things that Brendan touched on in terms of the weighting of different listing elements, when you optimize and set up your initial listing, you'll want to make sure that you do that and then set up your LQS checks. And you want to be more aggressive with that as soon as you're in your early phases of your honeymoon period, making sure, again, your media is lined up, your conversion readiness is there. Coupons are highly recommended, not only in terms of visibility for search results, but also on the product detail page is a big point and reminder. Again, we broke down some of the media specific items, and then also just turning on auto PPC is a good idea to do right away. It does not hurt to do that as soon as you are that listing goes live. So those are a few kind of quick things, especially in the context of what we're touching on now, that are optimization specific, running your auto PPC, and then really making sure that your PPC strategy is something that you can actively manage and not just setting up, arbitrary campaigns or different ad types. I'm a big advocate for search term isolation, especially for your most important keywords. So you're driving performance for that keyword, you're harvesting through phrase and broad match, but you're also adding some negative match in there to discover new keywords. And then that feeds back into your search term isolation strategy. So these are single keyword ad groups that you really monitor budget for, and you're doing those two things. You're driving performance in terms of ROI, but then you're harvesting new keywords through that campaign structure. So if you want to look more into that, we have a feature called PPCS and a keyword extractor feature that will help with that search term isolation strategy.
Absolutely. 100%.
Cool, Brennan. Well, hey, glad you're back. Good to see you. Should I pass it back over to you?
Yeah,
Are you ready?
I have the report open. You could just do a quick screen share just to show it, just to show the report that gets generated. As you remember, guys, this was it was a 4 ASIN listing. And let me know when you can see my screen, Troy.
Yep. Can see him.
Perfect. So I only checked the title here, so the score is going to be a little bit lower than typically what it would be. I would definitely suggest check marking everything, so it checks everything. As you can see, we didn't check any of the bullet points, right? So they're just a dash. Same thing for the alt images. It's just a dash. But I would definitely check all those to get the real score, the true score. But as you can see here, there's quite a bit of difference between these ASINs here. I mean, you also have 670, 670. These two are very, very similar. But these two, this discrepancy is very large. And very quickly, just by looking here, I can instantly see that there's huge difference in image count. This one's 9 out of 9. This one's 18 out of 9, etc. High quality images are on the low end. Obviously no video. This one has related shorts, yes and no, yes and no. So you can automatically see there's opportunity here just based upon the score. So if you want to quickly run a report on the entire parent-child relationship, you can quickly do so to see how each individual child is performing versus the other child, to make sure that yes, the images are there, and yes, those keywords are indexed, and yes, those bullet points are there. Because if you have 20, 30 child variations, sometimes you miss that one of them doesn't have that bullet point that you wanted. Maybe one of them doesn't have that new brand image that you wanted uploaded. Maybe your team missed that image. This would tell us that is being missed. So I would recommend your team or yourself run this, maybe in the very, very beginning, a lot of times. If you're first launching a product, like Troy was saying, you want to maximize that honeymoon period. You want to get, 1,000 if you can. But after that, maybe run it every 3 months, every 6 months. You should definitely have your finger on the pulse to see how your products are performing. Because guys, we know Amazon loves modifying our detail pages, whether it's another seller who's doing it, or maybe even it's the retail team. Sometimes we can update the bullet point number 6 on all but one ASIN. And we need to open up sales support tickets and say, hey guys, can you remove the retail contribution from bullet point 6 on this ASIN? It's a pain in the ass, but it has to be done. This helps us identify what next pain in the ass thing that we have to do with Amazon.
Yeah, it's a great point. Awesome.
Okay, so I stopped sharing my screen, and I think it's just us now.
It's just me and you. Yep, absolutely. And I'm just going to keep a close eye. Any other last questions that you guys have? I want to just recap a few points that we've touched on, but just a summary of them. If you've seen LQS before and you now see LQS Pro, you're like, wait, what is this? We've added more features and additions that we broke down today. EBC A+ content, automation and reporting, so you can do bulk functions and see everything that we're able to do with how detailed LQS is. And run some reports you can download and view as Brendan highlighted. This feature is free, but that's not always going to be the case. So this is the urgency. This is the time to download and add the Chrome extension, the Solo Tools Chrome extension, and run this on your products. Run it on your direct competitors. Pull some of those insights. Make some changes. And again, I sense there's a lot of questions about ranking, and this can help you with that. Again, we're seeing more regular changes to listings, positively impact performance. And then there's a lot of things that just translate into, again, things like coupons, optimizing your price, not just showing the retail. So if you earn that very valuable click, making sure that you're conversion ready, and the LQS Pro feature will help you confirm as much.
Yeah, and save you some time too with the bulk feature, for sure.
Exactly. Yeah, I can tell that that's a big ask, and I love that. What that tells me is that people want this and they want it more. Across a variety of ASINs. I don't think I've seen asks in that scale because, again, if you've heard a listing quality score in LQS, I can guarantee you nothing has been this detailed. The team has done an exceptional job of just saying this is completely above and beyond what we're used to, because we sort of developed it in that way of what's missing, what do we want, and then here it is.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, there's so many more attributes, and I'm sure, guys, we've been working really hard with the Chrome extension. We update the Chrome extension every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, there's either a small update or a large update. We've if you guys noticed, we've rolled out the search expander. That was a new addition that we did. I think Troy was a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. That was a brand new. I don't know if you guys have played around with that. And then we roll out the LQS, and then we have LQS Pro. Like, we're constantly updating. So give us feedback. Let us know what you guys want, and we are listening to you guys. And we are rolling out those features inside the Chrome extension, because at the end of the day, honestly, we want seller tools to have the best Chrome extension in the market for sure. Sal, to ask you a question, will there be a replay of this session? Yes, there will be a replay of this session. You'll be able to watch this later. You can watch it on ultra slow speed, so you can actually maybe, I know I mumble and talk too fast sometimes, and then when you listen to Troy, you could speed him up.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I'm too slow. No, it's a good question. And I would encourage you, Sal, if you found this helpful, please do share it. We'd love for you to share this with your the community, the seller community, any friends or business colleagues that you have that you would find they would find this helpful. We'd really appreciate it. I want to get the message out and get this in more sellers' hands. Yep.
We got a question to Vladimir. Thanks for the reply. Bulk processing. I meant whether can I upload my CSV. Let's see, 1,000. That's a lot of work. That is something we can do. That, like, logically, programmatically, it's something we can absolutely do. So if we get a couple people to say, hey, that's something that I want, we could spend dev time and add that to LQS Pro, and so that way you can either copy and paste would probably be the easiest, a list of ASINs that are row separated, and then or we could accept a CSV file and then process that and then give you a report on the ASIN. So technically, I guess you could load your entire Seller Central ASINs in and just let it run for hours and hours and hours, and yeah, it would generate a report. Yes, it would. Yes, that is something we could.
No, great question. Good question. Let me throw this one up there. It just came through just because we touched on it. You guys have a webinar on the PPCS tool and keyword isolation and identification process. In our knowledge base, I have some resources that break it down, and it's sort of matter of fact because I just try to walk through how to use the tool. So if that's what you're looking for, I would encourage it. You probably notice we don't do a ton of webinars. We're not very pitchy. Usually that comes with some sort of pitch. So definitely check out the knowledge base and see if that's helpful. But I think we could probably also do a longer form complete walkthrough of the feature as well. Cool.
Yep, absolutely.
Great question.
Do we have some more questions we can jump through?
I think that might cover it. What is LQS? Hopefully we did drill down a little bit more what LQS, listing quality score, is, what is available now with LQS Pro. And as you touched on, Brennan, this is definitely a sign of even more things to come. I would just highly encourage you. I know for those in the US thinking about Thanksgiving, we're catching you the week of a holiday, but take full advantage of while this feature is free. Run it again on your listings, get the insights, pull it along, share with your team. And Brennan, I know you've liked this idea of sharing it with your team and saying, get to 1,000, get to that score. It gives them a target to go after.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest, I'm part of masterminds, and we, as I communicate with these successful sellers, to be honest, they're lazy. They're lazy sometimes in a bad way and a good way, but essentially it's like, I don't know. Don't teach me how to do it. Just tell me enough, like 90 words or less, what I need to do, and then I'll get my team to do it. And so that was kind of why we came up with this point system, which was we made it really easy. You just click a button, you check the index, and we have some very verbose mouse overs that your team can read. But essentially, is if there's a video missing, like the team goes, okay, let's upload a video, and it's very straightforward. Of hey, team, let's get as close as we can to 1,000. Maybe 1,000 is really hard to do. Maybe we can get 950, maybe we get 920. But if we're currently at 600, there's a lot of room for improvement. So it was requested multiple times from $1 million a month sellers that essentially was, I want to continue to be lazy. Just give me a tool that I can give to my team. So this is the tool we designed to give to the team.
There you go. Perfect.
Yep.
And anybody can make sense of it too. That's the beauty of it.
Absolutely.
Anybody can understand, hey, I'm missing this part of the real estate that makes an impact to my bottom line in my business.
Yep. So you guys can continue to be lazy.
Man, what a positive note. What a positive note.
No, I'm just kidding. I know us as entrepreneurs, we're doing 99 different things at the same time.
That's right.
And it just makes this particular act easier because it's, now we only have to do 98 things on our list to do.
Yeah. It gives us a roadmap too. And that's where tools help us. We want to save your time because let's say you're not using LQS. Well, then how do you know a listing is optimized, right? You're looking at character counts. You're kind of cutting this feature really, really short and only looking at a very small piece and saying, well, that's enough. And in our opinion, as sellers, that's inadequate. That's not enough to get the job done.
Yep.
All right. Let's answer one last question from Jeff. He's been throwing some really great questions out there, and we'll wrap up with his question of, I don't have subject matter field for any of my accounts. Can you activate through customer support?
That's really okay. One, I've never seen that before. So I'd say one is advanced view checked under Seller Central. I know that's kind of a silly question. Like, did you reboot your computer? So one, see if advanced view is checked inside Seller Central. Two, I'd be curious to what category you're in. Like, is it possible that whatever category you're selling in doesn't have subject matter, which is hard to believe, but I guess it's possible. And then three, I always advise 100% of the people, there's no need to really use the Seller Central interface for the bulk of your heavy lifting. Honestly, guys, you guys should be using the flat file. The flat file makes life so much easier. And I'll give you a little bit of kind of info here. Every ASIN on Amazon is exactly the same. Okay, think of it like a DNA sequence. Okay, every ASIN is the same. What changes on ASIN is what category it's in. What that means is that every ASIN has every single attribute that's part of that ASIN. Tire pressure, vitamin C percentage, obviously color, and anything that could possibly be said about an ASIN is inside of every single ASIN. Now, what does that mean for you guys? Is that those attributes are either on or off. They're either on or off, activated or not activated, based upon the category that it's in. So let's just say it's tire pressure. So if you have the attribute tire pressure inside of the ASIN filled out, that technically is valid inside of the ASIN. It's just not being used while it's inside the grocery category. But as soon as you move that ASIN into the tire category, it instantly turns on. Okay. So what that means for us is that any ASIN can have any attribute. So for instance, if you guys are using the flat file, which I absolutely advise that you guys should, let's say for instance, one of the ones that gets abused the most often, adult flat. Inside of the flat file, the attribute is called is_adult. Okay. So what you can do, you open up your flat file. Let's say you're on grocery. Let's say you're in health and beauty. It doesn't matter what category you're in. You download that flat file, and you notice that is_adult is not in your flat file. And you say, well, man, I don't want my competitor to exploit my listing and set this from false to true, which then my product gets labeled as adult. What you can do inside your flat file, you can type in up at the top is_adult, and then set the value to false, FALSE. Then you could upload that flat file, and that writes to that ASIN, writes to your ASIN that your product is false, not a adult-based product. So answering your question, and I know that was a lot of information, Jeff, is that if it's missing from the user interface of Seller Central, that doesn't mean it's missing from your ASIN. What it means is you can use the flat file, and you can use subject matter inside your.
Sounds like we might be asked to do some training on that, breaking down flat files. I know it's a and as Jeff shared, I need to take a crash course. He just hates them.
Yeah, I think I think we should maybe do one because It's a great way, guys. It's just an Excel spreadsheet. I know it's really annoying, but you can hide 90% of the stuff in the flat file and only manipulate the stuff that you want to manipulate. But it really is the best way to always make sure that you're contributing to your listings, what you want to be contributing to your listings. And so for me personally, even if I have 50 ASINs, all 50 get uploaded every single time. So even if I'm only modifying one ASIN on row 54, all my ASINs get uploaded every single one of the times. And that's what I advise. And maybe we need to do a workshop on flat files, but flat files definitely are the best way to not only, it's also the best way to create and play around with parent-child structures. So for instance, if you notice that you had 4,000 reviews and you dropped down to 3,000 reviews, and you notice for whatever reason, Amazon removed that combination of reviews, that combining the reviews for the total review count. The easiest way to fix that, guys, is this. Inside your flat file, you hit delete, you change the column to delete all 5 sections. If it's, let's say, 4 ASINs, the parent and all 4 children, hit delete, hit save, upload it. Immediately, before they even process the first file, change it from delete to update, hit save, update that one. And as soon as you get done, the entire structure will be deleted, the entire structure will be recreated, and you'll get all your reviews back in 15 minutes. Like, that's the power of the flat file. And I'm way off topic.
Hey, that's okay. Hey, we're still talking about optimization, right? We're still in the we're still under the umbrella of listing potential potential and optimization.
Yeah, the flat file, guys, hands down the best way to make sure that your listings are taking full advantage of what Amazon gives you the opportunity. I mean, for instance, one more side note, like, guys, we've been using like 6th and 7th and 8th and 9th bullet points for years. Now Amazon has slowly started rolling that out in the user interface, but that's always been available inside the flat file.
Yep, that's another good point. Good point.
Yep.
Cool, Brandon. Well, hey, I think one more thing.
One more thing. Subscribe to Sell Tools.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, again, this is what we broke down today. LQS Pro is a completely free feature. We've wanted to make it an absolute no-brainer. So that is the offer from today's breakdown of LQS Pro: is download the free Chrome extension, add and use LQS Pro on your products, your competitors' products. Take full advantage of it while you can, and let us know. Let us know any other topics. I see some good ideas. Alexander does say training on some flat files. So again, whether it's content or features, let us know what you guys would love to see, and we'll do what we can to turn it around.
Absolutely. Cool.
Awesome. Well, Brendan, thank you for your time. It was a good time. I enjoyed it. Glad to see you come back. And I think we hopefully did a good job and did LQS Pro some justice.
Hopefully. Thank you guys so much for attending. Thank you guys for the questions, and hopefully you guys got some value, whether it was from me rambling for 10 minutes or directly from LQS Pro. I completely agree. Add the Chrome extension. It's free. Install it, use it, love it, and give us some feedback.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Again, if you found this helpful, please share this content, and we will catch you on the next one.
Thanks,
everybody.